Yes, legends, how's everybody doing? Hope you're doing fantastic today. We'll be analyzing the situation here for the price of Bitcoin. Let me know if you do believe that the bull market top is in, guys. I have the poll right there. Make sure to get the votes in. And we'll be analyzing the situation here for the price of Bitcoin. Make sure to destroy that like button on your way in. Let's go, legends. How's everybody doing? Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We'll be discussing here the major scenarios for the price of Bitcoin. And we want to take a look at Ethereum. And of course, today, later on throughout the stream, probably the last 30 minutes of the stream, we'll be discussing your favorite altcoin, okay? We'll try and do 4 or 5 altcoins, preferably in the top 100 high cap coins where we can do some solid levels and technical analysis to look for some opportunities, okay? Let's dive in right away through the comment section. First of all, and we'll discuss a little bit of higher time frame for Bitcoin. Is the bull market in already? Okay, the top is in and bear market literally already started, right? Since we got the drop. And this is the top. Let me know, guys. I believe that it's not the top yet, guys. And there are many different reasons to believe why it's not in yet, okay? We'll be going through the daily time frame, 4-hourly time frame, most importantly, and discuss the leg to the downside, how we got up here, and hopefully when we put everything together, everything makes a little bit of sense for you, okay? Let's go right away through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. ICP, we're looking for that recovery, okay? We're looking for the recovery on ICP, holding the bags at an unrealized loss, right? And we're just going to wait for ICP to get that recovery. We'll be taking a look at ICP later on. Go, 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 Andy, go. Cryptomania Club, much love. I think we, let me just double check here. The sound, internet connection, everything's good. I think we all know why we're here. We want to see if Bitcoin is about to go below 103K for a possible short, then a long position after. I like it. I like it. Yeah, seems like. It's 7 o'clock on the dot. It's time for a crack rock. Says here, prophecies. Much love to you, brother. Sunshine L, hello. Much love. Vasil, Justin Trades. Let's go. Smash up the like button. XRP to 10K. Let's go. I'm not sure if XRP is going to go that high, but We can do a little bit of analysis later on, but mainly focus on Bitcoin, then Ethereum. Then we're going to take a look at some altcoins. Rocky B, what's up, Andy? Good morning, brother. Good morning to you, Rocky B. Much love. Smash up those likes, guys, as you do join the stream. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes in the first couple of minutes of the stream. Let's go. 200 people, get your votes in. What is the vote here? Top is in for Bitcoin. Yes, 32%. No, 68%. 31% is actually pretty high. It's actually pretty high. We can see, I've seen throughout X, and you know, I like to see other crypto influencers or analysts, if you wish. So a couple of them are actually calling for, you know, a top on Bitcoin, which is kind of good, right? You don't usually see many come out to call for a top, and there's actually quite a few right now, which is very disturbing. It's actually a good thing, right? So I personally think that the top is not in, guys. I will explain throughout this stream. We'll go through the probabilities. Sticking to my guns here, all right? Sticking to my guns that we are not in the cycle top yet for Bitcoin. And we need more information eventually, right? We need more information. Of course, I will be interested in shorts if the price does what I'm going to be sharing in today's analysis. Okay, there are a few scenarios that if the price moves, all right, in certain ways, we can consider some shorts eventually. Slap the like button, says Staffer One, the man, the legend himself here. Thank you very much for joining, moderating here. Absolute legend. Our pink Devil now, Andy. What a great way to start the day. Devil went live, I saw just before me. Absolute legend. He must have done a banging stream. Greetings from Croatia. Andy, I love your analysis. Ivan, much love to you. Love from Croatia. Much love, man. Thank you very much for joining. Rocky B, everyone beat up the like button. Absolute legend, Rocky B. OG, Staff One, you legend. He is. Put on mascara. I guarantee you, if BTC visits the low 80%, 80K, I guess, we'll call it a cycle top. Yeah, potentially, if we do lows, those higher lows are right over there. James Wynn, big short position, got wrecked again. My goodness, this guy. Good morning, Andy. Link for me, says David. Chainlink, absolutely. We need to talk about Chainlink because I'm still bullish on Chainlink, and I do see Chainlink going to at least above $30. At least above $30. That is my selling point, guys. I'm going to start scaling out my Chainlink because it's been too long, and I've got significant dollars invested in Chainlink, and I kind of want to get out, guys. I want to get out, but I'm not getting out on the dips. I'm not getting out on the dips. We're getting out on the pumps, so we have to wait. We have to wait. I got out on Bitcoin, 15%. At the pump, at 125K, 15%. Same for Ethereum. Actually sold 20% of Ethereum, just under $5,000, about $4,800. So we're kind of getting those last little spikes. And this is the zone that you really want to start considering taking some profits, especially if you've been buying Bitcoin in this zone, which is where I bought most of my Bitcoin. Whoever's a long-term, you know, follower of the channel does know that we were, you know, spot scaling strategy started ever since we got below $30,000. Guys, it's time to buy. We go to 10K, we'll buy some more. Time to absolutely. And here we realized that the bull market first leg up was starting, guys. This was like, oh my goodness, guys, this is it, right? Regardless if we go to 20K or you know, 16, 17K to look for that higher low. We understood on the channel. I've got you know, I got a few live streams. The other day I was showing this, right, where we were looking at the, you know, 5-wave impulsive move to the upside. And this was like, guys, let's get in as much as we can before the price decides to leave, right? Which it did throughout late 23 and part of 24. So it's generally speaking, we have major targets, major crazy targets. We got some individuals out there, right? They're calling for obviously max prices, right? There's several of them, big famous people that are calling for 200K, banana zone, $500,000 and all of that, right? when you understand the waves, when you understand how the market moves, right? Once you form the biggest movement to the upside and you start chopping here at all-time high, you really want to start scaling out, right? I've sold 25% of my entire Bitcoin holdings, guys, already. So obviously I want to get out another 25-30% if possible at higher prices. And I'm still going to hold on. I do think that another all-time high is very, very possible before the end of the year. And this is what we are going to explain. When we do take a look, we're just going to do a little bit of Picasso drawing, guys. Okay, just keeping it simple from the start of the cycle. All right, because there is something very disturbing. What is disturbing is the last wave from this correction back in March, April, right, to the lows, all the way to the highs. There is no solid 5-wave structure that you can count in this move, which is good. It's good to call for higher levels. Okay, there is no solid way of counting a motive wave, an impulsive move from here to the end. Okay, the only solid way is the one that we mentioned, okay, which was this one right over here. Let's do a little bit of a session, guys, an educational session, right? Because if you think that the bull market top is not in, I need to explain why, right? I need, show me your, right, your basically your explanation, right? You need to have something that backs up, right, why you think the bull market top is not in with the current information that we have. Then we go locally through the lower time frames, guys. Well, we understand. Okay, let's just keep it clear here on the higher time frame, right? Let's just go with the waves. Maybe a lot of people don't like the waves, Elliot wave theory. I can tell you it's the most powerful thing that you can use for your analysis, right? This is what we got here. This is currently what we have based on waves on the higher time frame. So the latest wave to the upside is without a doubt this one right over here. This just correction and wave up. Correction, wave up, right? There's no discussion about that, I hope. So when we do take a look at the latest wave to the upside, let's just here break it down. Let's just break it down, okay? Very easily here. You got the big rally from April all the way here to end of May. That's your clearest big rally, okay? Then you got the correction that ended here because then your next wave got this breakout, right? That's pretty simple to understand. Right, that has to be the top. Could have this been the top right there, and this is your wave 3, and that's your wave 4, and this is your wave 5. There we go. That's it. Right, 5 waves up. End of the bull market. Impulsive move down. Right, that's it. There is a problem with this, right, and this is where the magic happens, guys. This is where you exactly understand that this cannot be the top, based on how we've structured the wave to the upside since April. This is the sweet spot, guys. This is where you actually understand that the probabilities are still higher to go to all-time high based on this count, okay? Based on this count. If you're looking at this, right, as the 5-wave move to the upside, you have your 4th wave, which is overlapping your 1st wave. Okay, as soon as that happens, you need to start considering diagonals, a contracting diagonal or an expanding diagonal. So let's connect the wave 1 with the wave 3 right over there. And let's connect the wave 2 with the wave 4 right over here. As you can see, the trend lines are expanding, right? They are opening up. They're opening up. In a expanding diagonal, your wave 5, as a rule, guys, it is a rule, needs to be longer than your wave 3, which is not the case here. Overlap from 4 and 1, so that means that you have a diagonal, so you connect 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. In this case, it's expanding. In an expanding diagonal, your wave 5 needs to be longer than your wave 3. Okay, so that's a hard invalidation that this is not an expanding diagonal. So if this is not the way of counting the 5-wave move to the upside from the correction that we had here in Q1 and part of Q2 of this year ending in April, What is the correct count to the upside? Well, the correct count to the upside has to be this one. This little leg to the upside was your wave 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A contracting diagonal, okay? Now, when we do take a look at the correction, right? Because when we take a look at this movement down, we discussed this many weeks ago that there's no solid way of counting this as an impulse, making it high probability that we do hit all-time high despite of whatever happens here, taking out the low or not. High probability in hitting new all-time highs in the next coming weeks, right? Give or take, which did happen, right? We did not take out the lows. We formed a higher low. This was dangerous. This was dangerous to form a higher low and go to all-time high. Why was it dangerous? Because we had the potential of forming the flat structure, forming an aggressive, impulsive move down from $125,000 all the way down to below 107K, which is literally what happened, right, throughout the last week. Well, basically Friday from the previous week, where we got that devastating collapse. It was fast, it was painful. A C wave inside of a flat is usually the fastest waves that you can find inside of Elliott wave theory. Note this, guys. The C wave inside of the flat can be the fastest waves that you see. And well, we got proven that it was one of the fastest waves, right? Very devastating, very quick, okay? People that were doing irresponsible trading, especially on altcoins, not too much on Bitcoin, but on altcoins, got absolutely wrecked, right? This was a major event that happened last Friday. And as a technical analyst and also, taking into consideration a lot Elliott wave theory on the analysis, well, I did understand that the C waves of a flat, can be aggressive. I wasn't expecting to be this aggressive, but you know the deal, right? Staircase up, elevator down. When it goes down, it can absolutely collapse in a matter of hours. And this was the overall scenario. So this is why this was dangerous to form a higher low here and hit all-time high, because we have the risk of completely collapsing down, back down to the lows, right, of 107K, which is basically what happened. So, you can see things, basically the analysis, high probability in hitting all-time high, despite whatever happens in this zone. Preferably, we do take out the lows to form a very good shakeout, and then we can move up with steam and have the potential of breaking all-time high successfully. But if we do form a higher low from here, the probabilities in breaking out successfully here are very low, which is what we were discussing a few weeks back. So yeah, with that scenario happening, well, we can see that was pretty much correct, right? This just moving to higher levels from here was an unlikely scenario. So what do we have here? As this is the highest probability count on a 5-wave impulse, not an impulse, a motive wave to the upside, we need to structure this. What do we have with this here? Well, for the moment, what we're leaning on is a flat, okay? This scenario right over here. So with that in mind, if this is the correct count, we are looking for new all-time highs at some point, right? There is a big problem, of course, with an ABC flat. It can be a wave W, okay? A flat can be a wave W. This means that you can still form your wave X and whatever corrective structure you would like, which is very hard. We don't really know how an X can, evolve. It can be even a triangle. We just don't know. We need to go here wave by wave. Of course, depending on what levels are hit throughout the next coming week or two, we can understand what could a Y be, right? And we'll have the different targets and the different scenarios. So we need a lot of information for this. A flat can be a wave Y. then your X can be any corrective structure. It can be a double zigzag where you have a zigzag correction and another zigzag up. It can be a triangle. It can be a regular zigzag. It's just, they're just very complex, right? You just don't know exactly how the X wave is going to evolve. But once that X wave is finished and we start into the new wave, we can analyze if we are going to form a flat later on or a triangle. Okay, this is a lot of noise, nothing valuable here. It's just something that we need to take into consideration, that the correction could extend. Okay, it could extend, even forming a zigzag up and a zigzag down. This could be a zigzag up here throughout the next, give or take 1 or 2 weeks. And then you can actually form a sharp zigzag to the downside, right? To get below maybe this low right over here. That is possible. Ultimately, we'll be analyzing this together very carefully throughout the next coming weeks as the price action evolves. But we are looking for corrective structure continuation to then ultimately look for the move to all-time high with the information that we have. So when we do go through the 4-hourly time frame and discuss the drop to the downside that we have, for the moment, we do have a possible completed fifth wave. I would like to believe, based on the analysis, that this has a good chance of topping out before reaching this high, with the potential of rolling back down to the lows. Okay, this is something that we are going to discuss in today's stream. I'm going to explain the levels and a little bit of the trading plan. If the levels get respected, then it's a trading setup. We might get it on live stream. Very possible. I will be explaining this. Now, the situation here with the movement down that we've had from all-time high, what we're looking at, we talked about this on stream the other day. Not interested in shorts on any of these bounces. People were very interested in taking shorts, and I said I'm not interested in shorts until we get above 111, 112k, which is where we have the point of control, right? This is literally where we at. I'm going to explain a little bit of my shorting plan here. We are getting a reaction, right? I'm not interested in shorts until the price bounces. We'll be analyzing the bounce, and we need to get to some resistance zones. We're getting a little bit of a reaction here, and we could be possibly forming a local double top, which we might get on stream, guys. That would be a nice trading plan, right? For it to happen on stream. I do think, based on how the price moved down from all-time high, that at least we got a double 1-2. Devil was discussing that there, could be a triple 1-2 here, which, I cannot deny. Eventually, we can have a triple 1-2. But ultimately, we got the big leg down after that double 1-2 in your third wave. The bounce, which was very corrective. We were aware, guys, very much, that the highest probability, right, last week, with a bounce here or not, was coming down to sweep up the lows. It was the highest probability based on this 3-wave structure to the upside, coming down to hit that higher low. This is like, easy peasy to understand, right? There's nothing bullish about this movement. You're likely going to take out that low at some point in the coming days with another bounce here or not. Giving you some shorting scenarios, right? So I am really favoring another low, guys. As you can see here with the drawing, I am favoring another low. I would be surprised if this is the low here, based on what we do count here on the waves. Okay, I would be actually pretty surprised. So I'm going to explain a little bit of my shorting plan here. I'm just going to explain it right away, because there are certain levels that are very interesting. Okay, muy interesante. I do like this reaction consolidation. We'll go through the lower time frames right now, guys, because this is where the meat and potatoes are, right? This is where the magic happens, right? Going to the 15-minute time frame and analyzing the micro waves. Preferably, your higher time frame wave 4 most commonly does finish before your lower time frame wave 4. This wave 4 is part of your wave 3, and it is common for your higher time frame wave 4 to finish below the higher time frame, the lower time frame wave 4. Sorry, getting my words mixed up here. So this is kind of an interesting area, right? Well, where is the trading setup, right? That's the most important when you talk to an experienced trader. Well, this is where we're going to go through the lower time frames, legends, right? Because I know this seems a juicy level to get into a short. Come on, this is the point of control of this consolidation. What are you waiting for? Get in the damn short, right? However, I'm going to explain a little bit what I would like to see. There's one big major level that I like. That would be a swing failure pattern from this consolidation that we had last week. This would be the best scenario in my opinion. And I'm going to analyze here the lower time frame so you can see where we currently possibly at here in this zone. All right. Could we reject from here? I can say easily that yes, it is possible that it could reject from here. But I do think that we could hit those highs again because we're moving down very correctively on the 15-minute time frame, which we're going to go through right away, guys. It looks very, very choppy and corrective, which I am giving a good chance that we can hit those highs. That's the moment that we need to pull the trigger, depending on the reaction. So there's two major levels here. If we are looking for another 4 in a 5, based on the probabilities and the analysis, I understand one thing right now. It is far most common that your higher time frame wave 4 ends before, okay, the highs of your lower time frame wave 4. When you do take a look at fourth wave targets, you get your second wave here, right over here, which is this one, right? To the end, which we are labeling as your wave 3. And the most common rejection point for a wave 4 is between the 236 and the 50%. I never like too much the 236 Fibonacci, and I favor the 382 Fibonacci, and if not, the 50%. Surprisingly enough, the 382 Fibonacci from this wave 2 to the wave 3 to try and spot the end of this wave 4, the 382 Fibonacci, hang on a minute, let me just confirm here that I'm not in the way. The 382 Fibonacci is where we're getting a reaction now in the last couple of hours. It's exactly where we have this high volume node. So we are reacting to this zone, right? The price is kind of getting a little bit of a dance here. It's stopping because we have Fibonacci confluence and we also have the point of control of this range. So, you know, this is a level, right? The price is doing something here. We're going to go through the lower time frames right away, legends, okay, and then discuss a little bit here what I'm looking at, because this is without a doubt, it's either rejection here, or in my opinion, it's rejection here. The good thing about the 50% Fibonacci is you got these lower highs with the value area high of this trading zone. It's an important area. Okay, 50% Fibonacci with an SFP scenario from these lower highs and the value area high. And we also have the anchored VWAP. Now, probably not going to get up there, guys, but if it does, anchored VWAP from all-time high is sitting exactly where the 50% Fibonacci from this wave 3 is. These are the two levels where the price needs to reject if we are considering this the correct count. Wave 4 here or wave 4 here. So we're going to go through the 15-minute time frame right now. Okay, I just want you to know these are the most common rejection points when we consider a wave 4, and we understand that it's, you know, low probability that you get above your lower time frame wave 4, which is from your wave 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your wave 3. So let's move that here. What's the trading plan then, right? what is the goddamn trading plan, right? You may ask. This is when you need to go through lower time frames, right? When we are speculating in a wave 4, you really need to go through the lower time frames and really, okay, we are hitting resistance. I understand that the rejection zone is literally here. This is the rejection zone for this wave 4. If it is going to be a wave 4, your target zone is hitting the lows from last Friday at 103.7k. You know, this is your target. If this is the correct count. Now is where the magic happens. We're going to zoom in on the 15-minute time frame and try and spot here where we're currently at with the waves. Okay? Your bullish case scenario, which looks absolutely horrible, would be either a 1-2, 1-2, massive wave 2 here. I mean, there's nothing here bullish about this, in my opinion. I mean, you need to always consider a bullish case scenario, right? You can't always have 100%. You know, when you're analyzing and you're looking for a trade, if you are 100% sure based on your analysis that, oh my God, this is it, right? It's bearish 100%. You're not doing things right? You always need to consider the bearish case, even though it has low probability. Sometimes they play out low probability scenarios, right? It's not 100% always. So the problem is here, I mean, it's just a big fat mess. What can we say? I don't like this. All of this is like a correction, because that's your last high. So it's a big wide correction. If you're considering a bullish case here, you're either considering a wave 1, you're having a WXY or a running flat, which is absolutely horrendous. It's like 10 times longer or 15 times longer than your wave 1. You do not prefer that. Longer waves are most common for a wave X or a wave B. So what we do have here, my preferred scenario is that you have a push up, a correction, and a push up. Then you have this long correction right there, sideways corrective move. So we have 3 waves up and a long sideways corrective structure. Yeah, probably have a flat, right? A triple flat and a WXY, but it's just a sideways corrective structure. You don't hit these highs till, Sunday evening, right? Or Sunday midday, sorry, this move up. So we've got 3 waves up, sideways correction. Then inside of this momentum, you do have the wave here to the upside, the correction, and right over here, this is your next wave up. So you have a zigzag, which I would like to label here as your wave W, your wave X, and now you have the push up from Sunday, corrective move also throughout early this morning, and now this last little push up, which potentially it's coming to its end stages. And this is what we're going to discuss right now. I mean, this is the bomb diggity right over here. Little wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 5. I do believe that this push to the upside is the one that is going to reject at some point. Okay, so this is what we are doing right now. We might get this on stream. And of course, the most important levels and your guidance here for the levels need to be respected. This is where I like a swing fader pattern. When we have this structure and we have the biggest wave in your latest push up here with the highest amount of volume after a couple of 1-2s here, as you can see, little grind, 1-2, 1-2, 3. Now you're looking for 4-5, 4-5. One little quick wick up here would be the absolute sweet spot. Okay, if you're not in front of the chart, you're going to miss it, because this is the guidance. In my opinion, it would be absolutely epic. It could end up in a local double top or even hitting these highs and rejecting. We're going to be paying attention to this right now because it might pump up throughout the next coming minutes. But just so you get the point here, preferably, I mean, if you're looking at this to be a start of an impulsive move, you need to consider multiple 1-2s. 1, 2, 1, 2, And, you know, 1, 2 here, you would have to see a little bit more of a pullback and then break out in a third wave, which is possible. But I'm not in a short yet. So, you know, I am very, very selective with where I enter a trade. So the thing is here, when we do take a look at the lower time frame, it's clear, right? You got a zigzag here for the moment. You got a little zigzag here formed on Friday bounce, big sideways correction. So what makes more sense here is a zigzag up, X very long here throughout the weekend, and another zigzag up. You could be at the end stages of this zigzag, just purely understanding what you have in the latest wave. In the latest wave, I mean, even with a possibility of this being the high, I would prefer another high if I'm honest. And, you know, there's a simple reason why. I mean, this one has been relatively quick. But you can see here, guys. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The big wave with volume. 4, 5. And I want to believe that this could be a flat. It's very choppy, very overlapping. I wouldn't want to consider this your 4 and 5. This could have been the end. It could have been the end. I'm just not seeing an impulsive move down here. Very overlappy structure. This could be a flat. It could be a local flat, but I would really prefer hitting those highs. At the end of the day, looking for a rollover at some point. I would prefer, based on the overlappy structure that we have here, that this is your wave 3. And right over here is your wave 4 formation for the last 5th wave. So I like either a double top from this high or pushing through. And if you push through this local high, this right over here is where you have the lower highs that were formed here last Thursday. I mean, this would be the sweet spot. If you were to break through this level, you know, this is like a sniper trade. You move up, you get the reaction, sniper trade, stop loss, you move to the downside, you protect position, right? If it were to break through, I would say that, you know, what you're likely looking, I'm not interested in any trade in this area. Unless we reject from this high, I'm not interested. You know, this is like super sniper, watching, get the alert set, and you need to watch for that rejection here or at the highs. You might just gently tap the highs here and then you form a double top, right? And then you start the impulsive move to the downside later on. So it's this is an interesting area where you need to take decisions. This is the decision area to spot that possible wave 4, right? On the 1 hourly time frame. If it breaks, the next level of interest for the rejection, we are still downtrending even though we don't like it, guys. Maybe some of you say that we've broken the bearish trend, right? The downtrend that we formed last week has been broken. We're going up to Valhalla, right? Well, it's not that simple, right? It's not that simple. If we break above this level, I mean, this is going to be action trading. Hopefully we are going to get it on the live, guys. Hopefully we do get this set up on the live, or we roll down from here, because there is a chance that this could have been the end of that double zigzag. Okay, just looking at the latest wave up, there is a chance that this could have been the top. I don't like it when you're so close to hitting some major lower highs. It's just really nice to get that last little wick up. So the movement down does look a little bit corrective in my opinion. So it would be nice just to get that move up. If we do take a look at the lower time frames, I mean, let's say I have to say, you know, this movement down right over here, this, and this, as explained, this could be a flat. This could have been the top. This is a flat, and now you break down. It is a bit, you know, there is some risk eventually. You're speculating on an ABC flat, but this would have been your shot, because once the price goes, then it's just going to go, right? Once the price leaves, it's just going to leave. This is when it becomes a little bit tricky when you're going through the lower time frame, because without a doubt, you can literally say that there is the potential of this right over here being the end, right? Where internally your wave 3 has already had 5 waves to the upside, as you can see here, right? So you kind of can fit here a 5-wave move up already to finish your wave Y. I know some of the legends did get into some Fibonacci extension. Devil was pointing here the Fibonacci extension at the 1236 1382 when you consider WXY structures, W, X, and Y for a wave 4. The extension 1236 is common, 1382 also, and 1382 was just barely hit, okay, barely scratched. Some of the legends did sniper trade this. As Devil pointed out in today's update, we can just give a little share on that scenario, okay, because Devil was looking at this in the pro community to finish here this possible scenario, right? We're just sharing a bit of the pro community here updates by Devil. 236 382 was barely just scratched and got the rejection of $1,000. So these are major sniper levels, right? We do take a look at sniper levels also here, and Devil pointed out that, you know, waiting for the 382 touch. Thumbs up if anyone got into the 382 touch, and apparently we got 9 thumbs up here. People snipering these Fibonacci extension levels, but to the T, right? Which is 111.6k. Already got a drop of $1,000. So we play the very defensive game here. As explained, there is a chance that this is your wave 4, and you could get that wave 5 here, okay? But we are looking literally for that end stage of this push to the upside. I'm in favor of this scenario possibly happening, just because wave 4s, they like to be a little bit long and choppy, okay? And this is what we're currently getting right now. So if you do get that last move up, without a doubt, I would label this as a wave 4 on the lower time frames, right? So you got zigzag up, corrective structure, zigzag here, wave 4 of your wave, you know, of your 5-wave move up from your A, B, C zigzag of your Y, right? This maybe a lot of people are not following up here, but maybe a lot of you do, right? You get the point. Biggest wave here of this movement, of this zigzag, has happened here internally. So what you're looking at here is a choppy sideways momentum. This is the double top, triple top zone, right? We talk about this a lot in the channel. There's a way of detecting those double, triple tops, and that's when you are literally in your 4-5 waves, right? You're 4 in your 5, you're 4 in your 5, and you get the reversal. Matter of fact, we can say that the movement down that we had, okay, so this is the trading idea, guys. If you move up, I'm looking for a double top or a rejection from this point, and it's a sniper trade. You need the rejection. If you do not reject and you pump out of it, there's no short trade to be taken. You need to pump and reject, and you enter into the rejection to give that chance of that topping signal, right? So yeah, about this double, triple top scenario, we could arguably discuss that this is a kind of a double bottom, right? This is from that wave 3 we discussed here on the previous live stream, guys, the probabilities of breaking down here, right? Who remembers probabilities? Well, we were trading in this area, on the previous stream, probabilities here were actually to take out this low because all of this was corrective. And probabilities were that we are unlikely going to break down successfully from this pivot low. Who remembers this, right? It kind of feels nicer to talk about the probabilities like that, guys, because it's just more easy. It's easier because you guys understand the probability side, right? So we understand that probabilities here are to take out the low based on this correction, right? I explained this. We had a zigzag move up and this correction came too close to this higher low to consider a double 1-2, and an ABC flat here was unlikely just because your ABC flat is, 15 times longer than your wave 1, which is, not what you want to see. And obviously when you have a big volume breakdown, you always give it priority to be the wave 3. So you're looking for a wave 4. So everything pointed out that we were going to claim this low. But as we understand that this is likely going to be a wave 5, right? That the probabilities in breaking down successfully from here are very low. Yeah, you can break down a couple of $1,000, but that's not a successful breakdown. Look at today, right? Just a few days later, we're getting a recovery from that low. So you kind of see what we're looking at here, right? And this is why on the higher time frame, I'm happy to say, guys, that I do think that the top is not in based on this structure. And still, for the moment, with the information that we have, based on this 3-wave up, the probabilities are higher to hit all-time high. And of course, this could extend massively, guys. This could extend massively. A few weeks ago, we were talking about, I do not believe that this is the low and we break all-time high. This just doesn't make sense based on timing and retracement, considering Fibonacci. This is unlikely going to be the low. If we move up from here, it's not going to be looking good. We have a very good chance that we're going to smack back down to 107K, right? Which is what happened. So the thing is right now with all of this is this could really extend, guys. It could get boring for a few more weeks. I am looking locally for a new low to be hit with the potential of hitting 100K. Maybe it gets down below 98K. It depends on that last 5th wave move, right? It can dip down here. It could just slightly sweep up that higher low, and then we're looking for the bounce. But I am looking for the local lows to be hit. Highest probability for the moment, based on the bounce that we have, that it does not look very nice for a multiple 1-2 or an impulsive move. It's very 3-wavy. It looks very double zigzaggy. And it just doesn't look good enough. It doesn't look good enough. So I am leaning here on that there is higher probability locally that we take out these lows than actually take out 116K. We are in the middle right now. And based on the information that I have from the movement down, which is a possible double or triple 1-2, 3, 4, 5, we only created this 5th wave once. And if you have a couple of 1-2s, you want a couple of 4-5s. So the probabilities locally here are higher for the moment, guys. We could shoot up here and break out, right? You just need to manage risk. You need to take everything with a pinch of salt from a random dude on YouTube. So what I am saying here, that there's a higher chance that the price does not reach 116K and it does reach 104K. We are downtrending. The bounce that we have does not look great. This is not a great bounce, guys, I have to say. It looks highly corrective. For it to be impulsive, we are looking at multiple 1-2s, and your second 1-2 is extremely long, which fits better for a wave X. So yeah, considering Elliott wave theory here, higher probability that we conserve this 116k, and we should be heading down to 104k in the next coming days. That's the probabilities. Where are the setups lying? Well, you know, this is all depending on the trader. Do you want to get into a little short right now and add to the position on a sign of strength to the bears? Boom, you move down, you sweep up these higher lows. That would be quite bearish. That would be almost a confirmation, guys, that you know, if you get down below and almost hit this higher low at 106.3k, it's the same explanation, guys. Hear me out, because this is where the probabilities shift. When we were trading in this zone last Thursday, I let you know that there's a good chance that we come down to hit this low. And it all had to do with this 3-wave bounce that we had last Friday after the crash into the weekend, right? And then this movement down, if you don't need to claim it, guys. If you already get down very close to it, to the 0.88 Fibonacci, which is an uncommon area for a higher low for a wave 2, you know already inside of this price action that there's high probability that you're going to claim this low and not claim these lower highs. So, I mean, you could, sorry, my bad. You could have claimed these lower highs, but it would still be part of a corrective structure. So this theory applies here as well. If you claim 106.4 guys, there's just probabilities are already high to claim this low. But if you hit this low, then it's even higher. If you claim 106.2 or get very close to it, even though if you get a bounce here, this is not looking impulsive. Same theory as this one. 3-wave up, retrace down, almost to hit that higher low. 3-wave up, retrace down, almost to hit that higher low. This is when you want to be confident in any shorts that you have, or even look for newer shorts on potential bounces to literally come down to hit the low here. Right? They're kind of the same theory, right? You're downtrending still. The movements up are weak. Just so you can get that edge, guys, of understanding the probabilities. Because maybe, you know, maybe you got lots of people saying, I'm long in here, but this is a pullback. We're going to absolutely moon, inverted head and shoulder, higher low. And people are going to be longing like mad. And I'm just here to say that the probabilities would increase drastically to claim this low if you hit 116.2k. Even though I am favoring, based on the bounce, that we very likely could get rejected here. And the two sweet spots is, yeah, I mean, maybe the high could be in here, guys. Maybe the high could be in. And if it's not in, we got one more 4 and 5. And the question is, will that 5th wave create a local double top, which is where you need to take action? Or will it create a swing failure pattern from this high that we had on last Thursday? I mean, those are my two major levels that I'm willing to take a short on. Okay? On the rejection, very important. And if you were to break out, then my next major level, which is insane level, I mean, this would be a little bit of an expanding 5th wave here. I would be surprised if it pushes through, you know, $2,500 or so. Anchored VWAP is the level, just because that anchored VWAP here is with the 50% Fibonacci from this lower high to the pivot low. I mean, it's a beautiful swing SFP area. Also those lower highs right there that we formed on last Tuesday and Wednesday. It's reject here or reject here, in my opinion. So we're literally looking for a rollover. And it all has to do, it's not because I want to be bearish, guys. It's because of the information that we have on the pump since the low created on Friday. This pump looks weak. It's a weak three-wavy structure pump, and it does not look too convincing. Your bullish scenario is a multiple 1-2, which does not look good. It does not look good at all, because I mean your second wave 2 here is extremely long, and you know it's just not a beautiful structure for a multiple 1-2 setup. So that's a little bit it, guys. Preferably we do reject at these crucial levels as explained. You need to wait to hit those levels and get the rejection if you're interested in a short. In the pro community, Devil today provided the absolute sniper short, hitting, you know, getting in at the highest level possible, which was 111.6k, literally that 0.88 touch. Okay, 0.382, sorry, 0.382 touch right over here. I mean, these are like these are just to be defensive, you know, to protect yourself, right? Sniper trade on these Fibonacci extension levels. The 1.618 could be an attempt. Instead of, you know, if you break through here and you get above this lower high, instead of waiting, if the price does push through and you create that swing failure pattern, I'm going to be looking for an entry here on the rejection and stop loss at the highs. But if you're using Fibonacci extension levels such as Devil is, you're just going to have a much better level and an entry and better risk management if you wish. Okay, I'm looking for the swing failure pattern of these lower highs. Or 1.618 extension, you know, if you do break out from that high, depending on the reaction here, it's a sniper trade. You move down, you protect position relatively, you know, quick once you drop a few $100s, just in case the price decides to move down correctively and form a, you know, another higher low, which is unlikely in my opinion based on the structure that we have. Okay, so in a nutshell, guys, here on the higher time frame, what we are looking at new longs for Bitcoin. New longs for Bitcoin, I would prefer claiming the lows. Not that we have an insane amount of levels beneath the 103.5. It's going to be a tricky one. It will be a little bit of a tricky one, because if this fifth wave, and this is a higher time frame fifth wave, okay, when we do take a look at the 5-wave move down here, it's the higher time frame fifth wave, so it can actually push down a little bit. It can get a little push down, because this fifth wave here was part of the third wave, which did not push down too much. This fourth wave is the higher time frame one, and this fifth wave is the higher time frame one, which can, you know, push down a little bit further down here. So it can get below 100k. Don't get me wrong here. It can literally go below 100k. But what I would be very interested in analyzing the lower time frame to spot that wave 3, wave 4 and 5, because we're either looking for a double bottom, you start getting a push up in your first wave, and then the next wave there will be some longs, easy to detect throughout the next coming days once that low is created, or even a swing failure pattern from 98k, which is, wow, that's going to be interesting. I mean, it all depends on how we develop the waves here in the next coming days, and if it is going to be bearish, you know, maybe we have formed the low already, but I'm not favoring that the low is in here at the moment. Okay, I'm not favoring that this movement down from last Friday was the low. So yeah, for any longs, I'm going to be looking at the waves internally here in the next coming days, if we do get them, just to try and spot that last fifth wave of the fifth wave. And we're looking for either a swing failure pattern from the recent lows of Friday, and if it does get a little bit punchy, looking for that 98k, which it seems very far away at the moment, but we can get there very, very fast eventually once we, below 103k, right? It's not that far away. We can just get that wick to the downside. So eventually an SFP from this low would be very, very interesting. So let's continue here with some scenarios. I mean, this is what I am favoring here, guys. I actually favor that there is higher probability with the information that we have here, that we do claim the lows of Friday instead of getting above 116k. I am favoring all-time highs. Locally, I am favoring a move down. On higher time frame, I am favoring all-time highs. And this is what's going to be interesting on the higher time frame, guys. That will we get this being the end of the C wave? And I'll go through the comment section right now. Is this the end? Right, this movement down. Let's get these drawings out of the way. That was from previous videos a few weeks ago. We don't need that anymore. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. If we do create that low, will it be the low to then rally to new all-time highs? Or will we get a 3-wave bounce and continue a WXY structure where you have wave Y, okay, an X, a W, sorry, X, and the wave Y later on, which can be multiple different waves. It can be a flat, it can be a triangle. This could extend a lot, guys. It could extend for many weeks, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I mean, we'll have to trade the levels. We'll have to trade little waves and be happy with a few $1,000 moves for some setups here. Because there's just anybody that's looking for a major swing trade here. It's, it's like, no, you're looking for movements of $3,000-$4,000 to be developed up and down in the next coming weeks. If you're looking for a swing long here to all-time high, it's not going to happen in the next coming days, and you have the risk of claiming the lows. So there's no major swing setups here, if I'm honest with you. They're mainly more day trading scenarios, day trading, small little swing trades of a couple of days, but movements of $2,000 to $4,000, $5,000 max. Because we have a good chance that the local lows are going to be hit. No swing shorts here because we don't expect a successful breakdown. You're looking for a bounce. And we have the risk of still continuing the correction here. Because this was a massive, massive rally from April to August. This can correct for several weeks. It can be choppy, it can be confusing. But I can tell you already, probabilities in breaking down successfully from the Friday lows are very low. Low probability that you're going to come down to 80k, right? From this breakdown. It's just, you're looking for a good bounce. Failed breakdown. Likely going to be a wave 5. And you were looking for a nice little rally here. Not a successful breakdown, okay? So the overall question is, this could be the low. Depending if you double bottom from Friday's low or you stretch to hit 98k, which would be an epic SFP, I would be very interested in swing longs despite breaking down successfully here or not. The moment we get down beneath the lows of Friday, it's start looking for swing longs aggressively. Because when we consider the ABC flat here, this could be the low. This, based on timing and everything, yeah, this could be the low here, and we start rallying here into November and December to hit all-time high. Maybe this could be the low. There is a chance for it to be the low here at the low 100k levels. Could it extend in a sideways WXY and maybe claim the lows again to then rally? Well, we'll figure that out in the next coming weeks. But there's no doubt in my mind that swing longs to all-time high into November and potentially December, depending on how this corrective structure develops, is what the highest probability for the moment, guys. There's no signs of start of a bear market. So yeah, that's a little bit what we got here. Is there a chance that, you know, I was just looking at this structure, and if there would have been a 5-wave move down here of some kind, which I cannot find in a contracting diagonal, right? Then I would say, okay, this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4, and 5. That's it. The low is in, and, you know, we're looking for, you know, not this low to be hit, basically. But I cannot, you know, just looking at this little structure that we had from the rejection, and there's no solid way to count this as a 5-wave move, just to label a wave 1 and a wave 2, just to get your next 4 and 5 out of the way, just for this to be a finished 5-wave move down. There's just no solid way to do it. But hey, could this be an end of a 5-wave structure and that's it? That's the end of your ABC flat? I mean, yes, of course it can, but I just don't see it, guys. I personally don't see it. And I think the local lows from Friday are likely going to be hit. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we're going to take a look at Ethereum. Sorry about that. It's time to go through the comment section. People are probably getting mad right now based on focusing on this. But as mentioned, just to keep it simple, probabilities to hit new all-time high are still there. I mean, I do see this as an ABC flat. I do see this as a 3-wave structure. I can't find a solid way to form this as a 5-wave structure. So the probabilities are high on the higher time frame that new all-time highs are likely going to come throughout the next coming weeks, give or take a couple of months possibly. More locally, the probabilities are higher to claim those lows of Friday, again, based on the move up that we have and based on the multiple 1-2s that we have here, meaning that we still have a 4-5, 4-5 at least to get developed. So that's the analysis in a nutshell, guys, here, even though we've done a little bit of chatting too much on the scenario. Let's go through the comment section. Smash up that like button, guys, if you like the explanation. Remember that just last week we were talking about, okay, esto es muy importante, we were talking about last week, guys, and don't get me put the video out here, that the probabilities were higher to claim this low. And the probabilities after claiming that low is to get a relief rally, not getting a major collapse down. Okay, so you can see how we move with the probabilities and the drawings, that it's actually kind of playing out, right, in a nutshell. Not at the exact level, but anyway. 549 watching. How many likes do we have, guys? I'm seriously gonna do a recount on the likes. Let me just double check. 176 likes. Legends. I'm gonna turn around the table here, and when I come back, I want to see if we are above 200 likes. Come on, legends. My God. Made it around the table. I made it around the table. Around the desk. Ooh, yes, it works. It definitely works, guys. 230 likes. You're absolute legends. It's time for comment section right now. Who wants me to take a look at Ethereum, guys? Muy importante. I was gonna say any major levels that we do have based of confluence. I mean, we are hitting a naked point of control, you can arguably discuss here. We got another one right there from Wednesday. I mean, this is a solid rejection zone, guys. I have to say, this is the rejection area. It's a lower high zone. Anchored VWAP. I mean, it's a shame that it's too far away. It's probably not going to be hit. But yeah, it's just above those highs and the naked point of control. It's just anchored VWAP is so solid a lot of the times from a major pivot. In this case, it's all-time high, and the 50% Fibonacci from this, speculative wave 4 is, hang on a minute. This is the, it's the Bybit chart. So we got that wick that we don't consider it. It's just right there. 113.9K is kind of so solid above these lower highs. But it's probably not going to be hit. We're probably going to roll over before getting anywhere close to this area, based on the resistance that we have here, based on the finished Y wave here. You already got that 3-wave structure up locally, right? You got already a zigzag right there. It's probably not going to manage to steam up here, and we're already looking for that possible rejection in this zone. Let's go through the comment section. You absolute legends. Already 250 likes. Thank you very much for smashing up the like button. You absolute legends. Now you deserve amazing analysis, Andy. I wish I could smash the like twice. Devil, much love to you, brother. Man, guys, go and check out Devil. He did a live stream before me. He is a coach inside of the Legends Pro community. And today's sniper trade setup, which is, you might have just catched the highs with the community. 9 thumbs up inside of the pro community that people entered the 1382 extension of this WXY, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, we are hitting that high volume node. So on the stream, I don't know when it was it Friday? We talked about, I'm not interested in any shorts unless we get to this area right over here, basically, right? So, I mean, anybody that tried to short these bounces throughout Friday evening or Saturday, I don't know. Maybe they're adding to the position. I don't know what they're doing, but it's just, I specified on Friday, this is where you're interested in. And this is where we've been dancing around here for a few hours. So, I mean, you take it with a grain of salt. Inside of the pro community, Devil did provide the 1382 extension. Devil loves the extensions. And sometimes they do play out to perfection, right? The 1382 was just tapped at 111.6. And it's, it's dropped $1,000, which is giving you a good scalp day trade for the day. $1,000 move, you can start making some, pretty decent gains. So shout out to you, Devil, guys. Go and check out Devil's channel, Devil Trading on YouTube. He did a live stream before me. He's an absolute legend, and he's a coach in the pro community. If you want to join the pro community, guys, super simple. You got the link down below. Join our Legends community. Join the Legends community right over here, okay? The free Telegram is down below. And then you have the pro community, okay? Which is daily updates, setups, and shout out to Devil, because who got in the 382 extension, he said, right? Literally just tapped with the naked point of control, 111.6, 382 extension, and there's over 9 people that entered that short position, which can be a pretty good short. Let's see. If it comes back up, I explained the plan, right? If this turns out to be another 4 and a 5, you know the plan already. It's either swing failure pattern from these highs or a local double top. You need the rejection though. If you do pump, you do not want to be in the short. If you stay above those levels, you don't want to be in the short, okay? You need that solid rejection from those confluence areas, or it rolls over from here. I have to say, there is a chance that that 5th wave, right inside of this wave, of the C wave, of the Y wave, of the WXY, kind of seems Chinese when we do talk about Elliot wave theory. Anyway, let's go through the comment section. That like button getting destroyed was absolute legendary, guys. Let's go through comment section now. Yes, Devil, thank you very much for that amazing comment. Great analysis. It's all probabilities, right? At the end of the day, there's a good chance that we do come back down to the lows, even though people don't want to hear that. It's just purely based on how we moved up. Probabilities last week was to claim the lows. We claimed them. Probabilities were not to break down successfully. We did not break down successfully. For the moment, with the information that we have, this is a solid zone of rejection to not claim this lower high, because it could be a higher time frame wave 4, 5, 4, and 5. The move up looks very corrective. So for the moment, the bulls are getting a nice bounce, but they are not bringing in very solid impulsive moves or very good volume, I have to say. So we just need to be aware of the double, triple top SFP scenarios at the levels of confluence explained today. If we break up solidly and we do absolutely explode, then we're going to have to consider the multiple 1-2. If we start breaking out with high volume here, getting above 116k, manage risk. This is no zone to add to position or anything. If it breaks, it breaks. Don't be in that trade, okay? Unlikely scenario, but just play well, guys. Risk management is super important. Good solid level anchored VWAP. Don't think it's going to reach it, but it's a good rejection point with that lower high. Much love to everybody. If you are interested in trading, of course, make sure to check out the bonuses that we do have, guys. Bluffin has got an insane bonus. You do get 25% fee reduction. All of these exchanges down below have Bitcoin, Ethereum, high liquidity, and they have hundreds of altcoins, okay? 25% fee reduction as well when you do sign up, guys. You got Bluffin, BTCC, Bybit, which is, been a solid one, but for Bybit, you need to, you basically need to show identification, right? But with Bluffin, BTCC, you're literally signing up with an email and a password and you get the best bonuses available, guys, on those exchanges. Let's go right away through the comment section. We are above point of control on like, says Crypto Gardenist. Yes, we are. ETH hasn't even run yet, been slowly buying it. Exactly. We need to talk about Ethereum. Shall we do Ethereum, guys? Thumbs up for Ethereum analysis right away because I got a good one here for Ethereum. I am super bullish on Ethereum. Extremely bullish. Hang on a minute. Let's get some stuff. Nothing has changed here for Ethereum, basically. Nothing has changed. We are looking for this to be a sideways complex correction. We can discuss the levels and we can discuss what kind of waves we can form here before heading to new all-time highs in that fifth wave, right? And break out successfully or create a double top. We don't know how this fifth wave is going to develop. So we can do Ethereum, guys. Thumbs up. Let me know. Yes, bro. Ethereum, please. Let me know in the comment section. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit here because I am lagging with the comment section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, Staffer1. Much love to you, my man. Thanks for joining. Daniel Singleton, afternoon, my brother. Hope you're enjoying the live stream. A lot of packed education, understanding Elliot wave theory, probability side, what we discussed last week. Based on Elliot wave theory, based on probabilities to move down, probabilities to not break down successfully. We already got the bounce throughout Monday, right? Throughout the weekend. And that's how we move, guys, right? Level by level, wave by wave. Losing my voice. Okay. Mike, high probability. It's just how do we get there first? That's the game. That's totally true, my man. Much love. 112.7 will look juicy for a short, and if BTC goes further, but exhaustive around 115k. Let's see. I mean, I wouldn't think that we can get. I mean, yeah, 115k. This is like the max limit zone. Okay, when we're considering that this to be the wave 2, this the wave 3. Yeah, you're literally pushing it here. You're literally pushing it here. This is like seriously the zone of rejection for Bitcoin. Really pushing it at 115. Likely for a lower high here. Likely for a lower high, regardless if it's in or not. So we're going to have to go level by level. Watch the levels. If you break, you're not interested. You need the rejections, level by level. And that's how we do it, guys. That's how we do it. I've got some alerts set. So we'll see if we do get those levels hit. I know some of the pros are already in a short from that 111.6k. And we are going to do Ethereum right now in the next coming minutes, okay? So make sure to destroy that like button, guys. On your way in, on your way out. Let's go through comment section. Now, yes, there's a bit of news. I'm not a news guy, guys. We got Michael Saylor. The most important orange dot is always the next. He buys Bitcoin always. You know, he's just always buying Bitcoin, right? What can we say? For the first time since July, Bitcoin liquidity is rising once again. Liquidity is rising once again. This is usually a good sign. Not much here. Got some oscillators. You know, I'm not very much of an oscillator guy, but it's pretty interesting how the macro trend oscillator here, okay, moving averages. You know, I'm not a moving average guy. This would be the first time that Bitcoin forms a top, right, with these oscillators not, you know, having a, you know, an inverse right there. We've seen them on the previous cycles, and we literally just still kind of in that accumulation zone, right? Which is very, very surprising to see. Will it be the first time that we do not get this oscillator coming up here? I would say, you know, it does look strange, right? Do we still have that explosive move? I do think so. At least another all-time high. Question is, will we get that explosion that gets to 140, 150k, and the pi cycle top indicator flashing, all of these oscillators as well, you know, moving to higher levels in the orange, which we haven't seen, right? Which is the first cycle that we haven't seen that. Could it be? Could it be? Let me know your thought in the comment section. How can I participate from the pro community if I don't have a mobile phone, only computer? From phone or computer, you can participate in the pro community or the VIP Telegram. From phone or computer, from both devices. So yeah, you just need to sign up here through the link down below. This will take you to the website and you can get access to the pro community, okay? This one right over here is for the Legends Pro community. Let's go right away. Amadeo, hi Andy, what are you thinking about the test of the ice level 112k of the Wyckoff distribution? 112k of the Wyckoff distribution. Yeah, I'm not sure here. I mean, Wyckoff distribution and accumulation, preferably you want to see an extended period of several weeks, even a few months, looking at the daily chart. I'm not sure if you're looking at a distribution. You said 112k here. If you're considering this a distribution, it's not enough time. It's not enough time. This is only just over a week. So yeah, when you're considering Wyckoff, mainly higher time frame, at least 4 hourly to daily, and it usually extends a few months. Okay, it is usually a few months. When we consider the distribution and the accumulation that happened throughout Bitcoin, distribution, this was a few months here, accumulation, right? It does take time. It does take time. Preferably you analyze the daily chart. I mean, they do happen on the lower time frame, but when you said about 112k here for the distribution, yeah, I'm not considering that. Is it possible to get VIP if I'm already on Bybit? Yes, if you're already on Bybit, preferably through, well, you need to go through my affiliate link to join the VIP, okay? In the VIP, we are already in a trade setup. It's on Ethereum, okay? I'm letting the people know about that trade setup, okay? I got a few Ethereum long positions, okay? A few of the long positions on Ethereum. I am aware that this position can go in the negative, and I inform on how we are handling this trade with good risk management. So if you are signed up on Bybit through my affiliate from the last few years, and you can prove it to me on the Telegram, you send me literally a DM. We'll check it, see if you're under my under my affiliate, and we can jump you into the VIP channel, okay? But if not, you can just sign up to Bluffin or BTCC, which they just require an email and a password, and we'll jump you into the VIP, okay? Super easy, simple to do. Can Solana break 200? Yeah, I think Solana is obviously one of the strongest L1s. Andy Pandy A Candy. So yeah, Solana to hit 200. without a doubt, it is still possible. I haven't done Solana analysis for a long time, but we're going to focus on Ethereum, focus on the big ones, which Solana is a big one. I stay bullish. If we go lower, even better, says Francesco. Very good. You know, the only reason I could flip bearish, which could happen eventually, is after completing this 5-wave move down, which for me is uncompleted, we have another possible leg down to claim the lows, is if we do bounce up and we form very, very corrective activity, right? Zigzag, you claim the higher low, you know, it's just very poor. You form very, very corrective price action on the momentum to the upside. We're very likely going to claim the lows, right? And that's the moment we are going to fear, right? We need that information, of course. We need a very corrective bounce, okay? And we don't have that for the moment, but I would still even consider the higher time frame bullish case where you're looking for a flat. Yes, we can bounce in a corrective structure here, and ultimately we get a zigzag down, and then, you know, we're literally looking for a WXY, and then we head up to all-time high. So the bearish case can mimic, okay, the corrective structure. It might look bearish. However, you got a flat here, which is your wave W, your wave X, and then your wave Y, which, you know, ends in a zigzag. And then this bounce, if you overlap the pivots of your first wave, that's going to be the golden ticket. This will be literally the confirmation that we're heading up to all-time high. So, I mean, there's lots still to happen if we are going to form a larger corrective structure, but we're going to lean on this could be the end, right? One more low, it could be an A, B, C, and that's it. We form a very strong impulse, we correct, and then we move into November, December in a wave 3, and we head up to all-time high. So we're still leaning on bullish scenarios for the moment, guys. Ethereum, please, bro. Ethereum, yeah, let's do Ethereum right away. We are tired from Bitcoin. Okay, let's do Ethereum. BTC will come back to 103K again. SUA, this is what we've been discussing throughout the entire stream, basically. That we talked about that on the beginning of the stream for about an hour right now, that the probabilities are higher, that we claim the lows again. The bounce is very corrective that we formed since last Friday. So, yeah. Smart money. Yes, maybe smart money. Let's take a look at Ethereum. That pivot is also the high time frame resistance, previous 6-month high. I wait for that too. Okay, legend. Let's go up, Crypto Gardenist. Let's go and take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, highly corrective price action. High corrective price action here on Ethereum. We do have Ethereum that formed a 3-wave structure from all-time high. We are labeling still that Ethereum has one more push to the upside in a wave 5. This wave 5 can be extremely explosive. It can be something that we've never seen before. A wave 5 that's extending and that we've never seen it before. Or it can be a double top. You just get above the 3rd wave and bear market. Right? We don't know. What we do know is that the probabilities are to hit all-time high. 5th waves can be a double top from the 3rd wave, or it can, you know, really shoot out here. And we form an extended 5th wave. We don't know. What we do know is that the probabilities based on the movement up from April, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, we are lacking here from a one more wave to the upside. And what is confirming this is how we moved down from all-time high, where we have a zigzag and then this move up, guys. Remember what we said about Bitcoin last week. Okay? Remember what we said about Bitcoin last week on the lower time frame. High probability, that we claim these local lows. 3 wave up, move down to almost claim this pivot. High probability you claim this low. So this is looking at Ethereum, but inverted. It doesn't matter if you claim the highs here again or not. High probability to claim the lows. So when you invert this on Ethereum, you got that 3 after the major rally up, 3 wave down, 3 wave down, big rally to almost get this lower high. There is nothing bearish about this movement as an impulsive move, especially when you got this rally. That's the confirmation rally. Highly likely all of this is a sideways complex corrective structure. So on Ethereum here, what we are looking at is very likely a WXY, which is still on the formation. So we got your wave W in a zigzag. And now the question, is this your wave X in a double zigzag? You got a zigzag up here, correction, zigzag up. And now we are literally inside of the Y wave, possibly. How this could develop, which is very interesting, is, you know, this is one scenario that I'm going to talk about right now. This is the most bullish scenario, where you're going to form a shallow triangle here, where you have your wave A, which has been your biggest wave, B, C, D coming in here. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Wrong one. A wave, lower high B wave, higher low C wave, lower high D wave, one more higher low right there to complete your Y wave. Right? Let's just turn this right over there like this so we can see it better. So we have the zigzag down, double zigzag X. This we're labeling as correction because after this strong move down with high volume, you overlap the golden pocket from your wave 2 and your wave 3, right? So we're not looking for an impulse here. We haven't been looking for an impulse down since last week. So this is why we activated the long positions. Longs were activated on the pullback from this pivot. Of course, we can come down, especially if we consider Bitcoin coming down, then this is going to be interesting. We need to see proof of support here. We need to see some kind of proof of support if we come back down to 3,800, 3,700 zone, preferably forming a higher low if we are considering this scenario. Because this could be the low for Ethereum, and then, you know, we're just rallying to all-time high in a wave 1, wave 2, right? Wave 3. There is a potential to getting close to the low on Ethereum based on the information that we have here. It's very, very possible. Es muy posible. Maybe you're developing a triangle here, which kind of nobody's seen, right? You move down, you get fear, we're going to claim the lows, and then suddenly you get a bounce from here, and you start breaking structure, and then you're heading up to all-time high already. You know, that was your triangle in your wave Y. It's one possible scenario. Okay, I'm going to be looking at this with a magnifying glass. How we're moving down here, how we getting support, because I have some positions already. We either exiting the position or we are either adding to the position. It all depends on how we come down there. Okay, this is why it's important to have some guidance from somebody that's, you know, has experience. Because even though we're doing this analysis, the price could come down back to the lows here. It could happen where you have a zigzag instead of, you know, it's lower probability eventually, because if you do get your wave X coming well above the, you know, golden pocket here, 7/8 Fibonacci, even the 0.88, it is low probability to form a zigzag here. Okay, but it's not impossible. So it really depends on how we move down to this zone. It's crucial that we form a higher low here and find some support, because if we start losing this zone, and not finding support, we're going to be analyzing very carefully, right? Because then the next level that I'm looking at is to enter at these lows, kind of a swing failure pattern, right? Which is in confluence with this low over here almost. That's the very, very interesting level to go in big. I would be happy to de-risk my long in a small loss, but then this one is the one that's going to pay 20 times the stop loss. So yeah, we were just level by level handling the situation. What about, so a triangle here is possible. One more higher low, one more correction. I mean, if Bitcoin does come down to below 103k, I'm very, very skeptical that Ethereum is gonna just drop $200-300, right, and manage to form a higher low here. I'm very, even though Ethereum looks a bit stronger than Bitcoin at the moment, because Ethereum did not claim the lows from last Friday major liquidation event. Ethereum formed a higher low. Bitcoin claimed the lows. So you can see the strength that Ethereum has against Bitcoin. Ethereum actually has a little bit of more strength. The simple reason is Bitcoin claimed the lows of the liquidation. Ethereum didn't. It's formed a higher low. So could Bitcoin get below 103k and Ethereum manages to form a higher low, just drop $200-300? Why not? It did it the last week. Why couldn't it do it this week? Maybe the drop is not that severe on Ethereum, just like it wasn't last week on Friday, right? So I mean, you get the point. It's on the charts, right? Lower low on Bitcoin and higher low on Ethereum based on Friday's drop. So yeah, maybe that is possible. We're going to be after watching this very carefully in the next coming days. Other scenarios, if Ethereum does get above 4,300, then look no further. This will be, for me, almost a confirmation that the low is in here for Ethereum. What could happen is that you extend a triangle scenario here. You could extend a triangle where you drop down, you move up, drop down, and that's your A, B, C, D, E, your triangle finishes later on throughout, end of October here. But yeah, I would just be happy to buy and add to the position on the drops. This is like super bullish, not bearish, bullish. Probabilities will decrease to sweep up that low once you get above this high. Even though you got a bit of a Gartley pattern here, I have to say. There's like a Gartley pattern, so you could hit the 7-8. I mean, this could be an intraday short trade setup. Hit 7-8 Fibonacci, it might be the point of control. Let's take a look at that. There might be some intraday setups here that we can quickly provide for the community, for the YouTube bros. Yeah, we got a bit of a tough one here. That point of control did act as resistance. Really nice last week. Yeah, not much confluence. If you do break out from here, I'm skeptical about the 7-8. There is a high volume node. Okay, there is a high volume node. Let's get the volume profile here. If you were to break above that point of control of this area, 7-8 Fibonacci is where we have the second highest volume node. So a Gartley pattern here is very possible that 7-8 Fibonacci can definitely get a rejection. You got a high volume node at the 7-8. It's an intraday short, because I mean, I'm very bullish on Ethereum, but you could reject here very aggressively, lose point of control. It can be a little bit of a fake out. 4,500 on Ethereum is a valid rejection point. If you break above 7-8 and this high volume node, I wouldn't be interested in the short eventually, right? You need to get that reaction, manage risk accordingly, but it is a possible short with that high volume node. Yeah, anyway, that would be a day trade short. I wouldn't be Ethereum does look very, very bullish. Very corrective price action. We are looking for some strong recoveries in the next coming weeks, in my opinion, based on what we got on the chart, guys, here. So all of the scenarios are pointing out that, if the low is not in, then, if it does decide to come down here, I'm looking for an SFP from this pivot low or this pivot low. I've got it clear. If we come down, I'm already in long from lower, and if we come down there, I would manage my position, would look at the lower time frame, see what's going on. But if we do claim this low, I'm going heavy. I'm going heavy for an SFP of these lows. If they do not SFP, then we pack the bags, guys, and we literally look for lower, right? Which is, for the moment, low probability, in my opinion. So we'll go level to level here. For the moment, it is looking a-okay. I'm just concerned about Bitcoin. High probability in claiming 103K, 104K, basically. Not too sure if Ethereum's going to hold on here for a higher low. Not too sure if it's going to manage. If Bitcoin drops $5,000, $6,000, will Ethereum just drop 200 to 300? This was good when we considered Bitcoin last week. The fact that we understand that breaking down here successfully was low probability. So yeah, dropping down $2,000-$3,000 is okay. I don't expect a $10,000 drop here. When you've already claimed that low, and Ethereum's literally coming down here to this order block that we have, it was so good to say Ethereum's likely going to get a nice bounce from here, which it did, right? So, yeah, if Bitcoin, look, I'll be extremely confident. I need to take a look at where Bitcoin is, because I understand that there's a good chance here, guys, that we're going to claim 3.7K, right? We've done the analysis on Bitcoin. We've explained why it's correcting up. There's a good chance that we form a lower high from this pivot. Coming down to this low, if Bitcoin comes down there in the next coming days, right? Let's just speculate it comes down there in the next 24 to 48 hours. And Ethereum, as Bitcoin is dropping below 103K, if Ethereum, while this happens, is only dropping $200 and it's here, I'm going to say that there's a good chance that this completes the triangle on your Y wave. I would be happy to say that this could be the low if Bitcoin is already trading below 103K, because as explained, I am not looking for a successful breakdown from here, and we're likely looking for a pretty significant bounce once those lows are created. If we are looking for a bounce on Bitcoin that's highly probable, once the lows are claimed, yeah, we can go to 101, we can go to 99K. Doesn't matter, but we're not looking for a successful collapse here, right? You're just looking for a breakdown of a few $1,000s, and then price bottoming out and reversing, unless it's a double bottom. So if that's why I realize that if you are down here already below 103K, and we're looking for the price to bottom out shortly and get a reversal, might take 24 hours to bottom out and then reverse, right? Just like last Friday, it's not an instant reverse, but you get the point. You lose the lows, a bit of choppiness here for a couple of hours, and then you bounce back up. If you are trading here and Ethereum is trading here, I'm happy to, I will go aggressively long on Ethereum. I understand that Ethereum is holding stronger and that this is corrective. I know that there's higher probability in hitting all-time high in the next coming weeks. I'm going to go like all in kind of thing. Not all in, but I will increase position for sure. And I will be sharing that position once I'm in throughout YouTube, and most importantly, giving that guidance in the pro community and the VIP guys. And if you are interested in that, VIP is super simple to join, guys. You just need to sign up throughout one of the affiliate exchange, BTCC, Bluffin, your favorite one. You just need an email and a password. You got insane bonuses that you get anyway when signing up throughout the link. Send me a DM when you do a minimum deposit. We'll jump you into the VIP, and that's where I'm sharing my trading positions. Right? No financial advice. I'm just sharing with the people what I'm doing, where I'm entering, where I'm looking to exit, if I'm adding, if I'm not adding, if I'm, So yeah, that's a little bit of the plan here on Ethereum. Let's see how the price develops. Of course, if we are seeing Ethereum down here at 3,700, and Bitcoin is still at 100,000. 106,000. If Bitcoin's here and Ethereum is already down here, there's going to be a good chance that Ethereum does claim that low, because we do have a bit more room here for Bitcoin. We already understand that there's high probability in coming down to hit this low, so we got an extra drop of a few $1,000s. And if Ethereum is trading here already when Bitcoin is at 106k, we're likely going to get a drop of a few $100s more on Ethereum. So we're just going to have to handle. Bitcoin is the leader, right? This is like looking at stock market and considering, crypto. Bitcoin's the leader, right? How many altcoins, there were altcoins based on this Bitcoin drop of previous Friday. If you didn't have Bitcoin into consideration, no matter how bullish your altcoin looks, there were altcoins that went to zero on Binance. Literally 0.01 Atom went on the Friday collapse. If Bitcoin, Bitcoin's the leader. I need Bitcoin analysis to consider Ethereum or any altcoins. Always. Because it's the leader of the crypto market, right? There's no discussion on that, I guess. It's best time to buy BNB and US dollar Tether. It's best time. Also XMR. I like XMR, Monero. I see a massive rally on Monero happening in the next coming months. It's best time to buy BNB and USDT. BNB has already gone through the roof. Why would you want to buy BNB? It was time to buy BNB a few months ago, not now. Oh, it's actually got a bit of cheeky rejection right there. Good luck with that. If you're buying BNB up here, you're probably going to hold a bear market. Okay? Just so you know. This is not a great area to buy. You broke the previous all-time high. First rejection. This is like Ethereum's kind of here. Ethereum took all-time high and got rejected. We're looking at a big rally on Ethereum to come. And this is already broken, and it got a pretty explosive, parabolic move up. Nothing ends up well with a parabolic mover. Yeah, parabolic could extend a little bit longer, but there's no parabolic move to the upside that I've seen has ended well. So you just want to take that into consideration. It wouldn't be a good idea to buy BNB up here, in my opinion, but you can do whatever you want. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, and BNB might go to $2,000, maybe. BTC dominance dropping is funny, in my opinion. Is it dropping down? I trusted Andy, got to 4,700. I trusted Andy, so I sold my spot bags to buy back in lower. Where will BTC top out? BTC goes back down. Not sure where you sold. Maybe you sold when I sold. I sold 15% of my portfolio. Just under all-time high here, guys. You know, this was a perfect moment to say, okay, guys, I'm gonna get out with, you know, 15% of my spot bags. Not sure if it was this peak or this peak, but it was not a bad decision. You know, start unloading, guys, if you've been buying a few years ago, because I mean, the simple reason is, guys. The simple reason is you want to buy at the beginning stages of a bull run. You have a bear market, you can DCA aggressively. And when you have the first leg up of the bull run, which we did share, you know, we did share back in 2023. I shared it just a few weeks ago when we had this on the chart, right? We had a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, right? You know, explosion to all-time high. And we had a wave 2 here for a higher low. But when you're DCAing and you're investing and you're not trading, you're looking for the wave 3, it doesn't matter where you catch the low really here. It doesn't really matter. It's like you can buy the wave 1. It doesn't matter. You know, there's going to be at some point that you're going to break that wave 1 very aggressively. So when we understand this, it is really, this is the zone where you really want to start you know, collecting your profits. The biggest waves have happened here. Also, we got one here. So now the waves are not breaking out the previous all-time high too powerful, right? So yeah, I do expect another all-time high, despite if the correction does go to deeper levels below 100k. But I don't see this breakout being so powerful. I mean, it could, right? You never know. When you break out, it's time to see if it's powerful or not. But I say that 130k to 140k is like the peaking zone. If the market is moving up very bullishly and we still form corrective structures down like we have been doing throughout the last few months, I'm happy. I will be happy to say, guys, there's high probability in hitting all-time high again. Right? We'll go level to level. We'll slowly DCA out. I'm never selling all of my Bitcoin, but the moment I sell 50% of my Bitcoin, or I'm going to stop maybe. I'm going to be like, you know what? I don't want to sell all my Bitcoin. So, but we eventually need to take profits on the way. BlackRock just dumped some Ethereum. Yeah, I'm not sure if that would be a sign. What if we're going to have a Wyckoff distribution at all-time high and start the bear market entering into 2026? Well, maybe. I mean, maybe this could be a distribution sign. I would be expecting another high based on this does look corrective. But maybe we get a solid rejection again. And this would be very similar to the price action of 2021, right? Where you just like boom, 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 and you know, then that's it. You move down. We're gonna have to go wave by wave. Does the move down on the 15-minute looks corrective? Does the move down on the 15-minute look corrective? Is that on Bitcoin? Which move down? 15-minute time frame. I guess you're saying this move down. It does look a bit choppy and a bit overlappy. We did discuss this at the beginning of the stream. There could have been a chance. There could have been the chance that this was your top locally here, and you could fit in here on the lower time frame a 5 waver and a flat. It could be a 1 flat 2. It could be okay, and maybe you're rolling down from here already in a third wave. You get a pretty decent collapse throughout today. Maybe it is the top already, because there's just a valid small little 5 waver here, and this could be a flat. We discussed this before in the stream. Yes, you could SFP from this lower high based on a flat. This was already an impulse. A bit cheeky, small. I mean, this is like 3-minute time frame. You don't want to give too much love and attention, but it is very valid. I was just discussing this before. Rejection, bounce, rejection, little bounce, little wave down. There is technically a kind of a 5 waver here, and this could be a flat. And that, you know, that gives you, if you did not short here like some of the pros, as Devil provided, man, that was an epic short, I have to say. That's like catching the absolute high. Devil knows how to do this very, very well with it, with fib extensions, and he does give those levels on the pro community. And your other option, which was a bit more aggressive, was looking at this for the short before the wave 3, right? I was kind of interested in a bit higher, but this could have been it. This could have been it, because when the price decides to make that third wave, it's probably just going to go. It's just going to go. It's going to collapse. If you break down beneath this low, you got lots of inefficiency right there from this candle, and it's probably going to be as aggressive to the downside. So yeah, let's see. But that would have been your best shot here to re-enter on a short. And if it decides that this is corrective, I mean, it still need more information, then I'm looking for the double top, or I'm looking for the SFP from that level, as explained at the beginning of the stream. Just need to go level by level here, guys. No, there's no secret. It's just level by level. I would be interested in either double top or this lower high right there. Or maybe the top is in here already and it rolls over. Legends, thank you very much for joining today's stream. Data issue on Coinbase chart. 125k, I did the short, but I closed at 118k, says Alif. I know it happens. Sometimes you take gold. Please, Andy, take a look at gold. Staffer One, my brother himself here in the community. Gold flying. Yeah, gold just wants to continue to go up. Gold is just flying. It continues to go up. This was an epic sideways WXY. Gold can be traded on bluffing, guys, as well. Anybody that is interested in trading gold and aping into longs on the corrections, you can trade gold on bluffing, guys, using crypto, using USDT. So if you're interested in that, you get the biggest bonuses, and you can trade gold using Tether on bluffing, guys. Anybody that's interested in using crypto to trade gold, you got it on bluffing, legends. Okay, so yeah, gold is we were bullish on gold. Somebody asked me about gold in this range, and we detected a sideways WXY, which played out to the T. Man, this was insane. This played out to perfection. Somebody asked in August, can you take a look at gold? And the analysis was one dip down to the golden pocket 0.88 and, you know, get above all-time high, right? Claim all-time high, then wow. This just continued pumping in September, and, you know, to date, and it's just not stopping. It's just not stopping here. So we need a sideways correction. Where if it doesn't stop, I mean, yeah, this is insane. There's just really nothing to analyze here. I'm not going to do the micro counts on the waves at the moment. It's just going to take a long time, and it's going to be very boring. But the latest one, which was in August, this is a sideways correction. We're looking for the highs to be taken, and wow, it hasn't stopped since then. So this is maybe the lower time frames might look interesting. Yeah, we've already got something here on gold. Oh wow, yeah, this is this is highly corrective. Highly corrective. The rejection, we had a V shape almost hitting the highs, and then this back down. We're likely forming some kind of a corrective structure here. It's too soon to say when it's going to finish, because it could be a double zigzag. We're probably just rejecting at the golden pocket right now, slightly above golden pocket. Still soon to say. There's a few scenarios here. Zigzag down, corrective X, maybe it does a zigzag down here again to sweep up this low. That would be a moment to be interesting for longs after the sweep of these lows. Still soon here for gold. Anyway, not much more to say, guys. We've covered Bitcoin, we covered Ethereum, a little bit of news, not much. Liquidity is looking interesting. Yes, eventually there is liquidity to the upside, but there is liquidity to the downside, right? With this little pump, people are kind of feeling excited with the pump, right? Bottom is in, and eventually we are creating that liquidity. Based on Elliott wave theory, there is higher probability with the information that we have that the lows are claimed again, unfortunately. And just because this move does look highly corrective, and we'll go level by level. Higher time frame, we're still looking for all-time high, and mid time frame, the correction could extend for a lot, few more weeks, guys, unfortunately. Much love to everybody. Thank you very much for joining. Join the pro community or the VIP if you want to know about the trading setups that we have, mainly on Ethereum at the moment, but we'll build a Bitcoin big swing trade position in the VIP very, very soon, because it's all coming together as we want it to. Super easy to join. Send me a DM to the Telegram. Join either BTCC or Bluffin, right? Do a minimum deposit and we'll jump you in the VIP. If not the pro community, you got active members, coaches going through everyday scenarios, right? Mainly on Bitcoin and also some other altcoins. Thank you very much for joining, legends, and I will see you tomorrow.